Recording started.
All right. We need to talk about the different parts of a sine and cosine graph. And as you can see, these are both similar graphs, or equations. Once you identify this number out in front, that's of course going to be the amplitude. The absolute value of that number is going to be the amplitude. Once you identify this number here, b, if you take and divide into 2 pi, that'll get you your period. You identify this number c, that's the phase shift, and of course d here is the vertical shift. If it's positive, it's up. If it's negative, it's down. Okay, let's take a look at an example, see if we can work it out. Here we go. Here's our example of a sine function. It's almost in the format we want, but not quite. Remember, we need to have this t kind of by itself. So here's the first thing that I'm going to do. I'm going to factor out the number in front of the t. So I'm going to factor out a pi. So this is going to be negative 2.5 times the sine of pi times t plus, let's see, if I factor out a pi, I'll just have a 1/2 there, minus 1. Now it's looking better, but let me do one more thing. I'm going to rewrite that as negative 2.5 times the sine of pi times t minus a minus 1/2. Remember, our format always said minus c here. So now I think I'm ready to go. The negative 2.5 is the a, pi is the b, negative 1/2 is the c, and negative 1 is the d. So I think I'm ready to identify the amplitude, period, phase shift, and vertical shift. So let's do that. All right, the amplitude. Now remember, it's the absolute value. It's the absolute value of negative 2.5, which is just positive 2.5. That's the amplitude. Let's do the period now. Period is 2 pi divided by whatever my b value was. In our case, our b value is a pi. So we cancel those out and I just get a 2. Keep in mind the reason we're dividing into 2 pi is that's the natural period of sine and cosine. If we were doing the same thing for tangent, we divide into pi. That's tangent period. The phase shift. Phase shift is next. And the phase shift was a negative 1/2. And last, the vertical shift. The vertical shift was a negative 1, which means we're going to be shifting the whole thing down by 1. So the amplitude will change the height of the overall height. The period will change how fast it repeats. The phase shift changes where we start. And the vertical shift will change how far up or down the whole graph is shifted.